Okay, so welcome everyone. Hope you are all well and that you've had a wonderful weekend. Before we get started into the class, we've got two new students, so let's welcome two new students. We have sorry, if you can remind me of your names. Conrado, Conrado, yes, Conrado and Odilon. Odilon. So before, let's all say welcome to Conrado and Olion. Would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself? So where are you from? What are your hobbies? What are your study plans? How long have you been in Australia? Who are you here with? What are your future plans? So starting with Conrado. So everyone, let's welcome Conrado and let's hear a little bit about Conrado. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah, so I have been in Adelaide for 6 months. I have been. Yes. Yep. For 6 months. Okay. 6 months, bless you. And you're here to study, to work. Yeah. Okay. You work in the hotel? Yes. Housekeeping in the hotel? Yes. And sometimes. Yes. Okay, good. And what do you enjoy doing? What are your hobbies? In your free time, what do you enjoy doing? Listening to music. Playing football, yes. Yeah. Yes. I think everyone agrees. Playing football, yes. Yeah. And what, sorry? Video games, yeah. Okay, cool. And are you here by yourself or with family, with your wife? Alone? Alone? Okay, alone. Wow. Yeah. So you have a lot to experience and yeah. Okay, thank you, Conrado. And we have uh Odilon. Odilon, tell us about yourself. For my needs, I'm here. I arrived here 2 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. Okay, great sentence. We would say I arrived here 2 weeks ago. Only 2 weeks ago. Yeah. So here is oh, visiting your daughter. Already lived in Australia for 7 years. For 7 years. Wow. Okay. And she's working and she's she's 7 years. Yeah. She has she's a business partner. Okay. She started. Yes. Yes. That's good to hear. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Oh, wow. So you lived in China for 7 years. Was that for business, for work? Ah, yeah. Yes. Okay, interesting. And now you're here in Australia. Wow. And okay, that's good. So I hope you definitely that's good having your daughter. She's already settled, and she's built herself up to now having being in a business with a business partner. So that's good. It's good to see a success story, and yeah, that's good. So I hope you enjoy many years as well here in Australia. Yeah. Okay, so let's get uh so I hope you've all had a wonderful weekend. But yes, let's get into our coursework. So we have we're right at the beginning at unit one. At unit one, right at the beginning, and we're looking at this image. So I can see this image, and it tells us. Let me see. So in this image, okay, so in this image, I can look and see that there's a caption. So remember, there's usually always a caption that tells us something about the picture. And it says, Dina Halstead is in Malni Bay, Papua New Guinea. She's a diver. So we know location, where she is, and we know her name, who she is, and what she does as a profession, as a job. She is a diver. So we can see this is her here. Let's listen to an interview about the photographer and match these questions with A, B, C, and D. So what's your name? What's the answer? Where are you from? A, B, C, D. Find which one's the answer. What's her name? A, B, C, D. Where is she from? A, B, C, D. So very simple. Getting to know someone, just as I asked, hey, hello, come in. It's actually here. Yes. So you're in the right place. Come in. So you would be is your name I saw your name here before. I can't see it now. I know I saw it before. This one? Solange?
No, Anna.
Anna?
Yes.
Okay, maybe you're not yet on the timetable.
Okay, in my app say at the morning,
Yes.
but my agent send for change of night.
At night. Okay, no worries. As long as you told the reception.
And the reception.
You need to, yeah, let the reception know, but that's okay. So you can, you have the textbook?
No.
Okay, I'll get you a textbook. So 1 second. Let me just get you a textbook and then I'll be back. 1 second. So as I was saying, we're going to listen to an audio and listen out for some of these information. Okay, so you ready? So I can play the audio? Should be very simple.
Life, Elementary Students Book by John Hughes, with Paul Dummett and Helen Stevenson. Published by National Geographic Learning, a Cengage Learning Company. Copyright 2019. Track 1. Unit 1. Opener. What's your name?
David Duvallay.
Where are you from?
The USA. I'm a photographer for National Geographic.
I really like this photo.
Yes, it's in Milne Bay.
And who's the diver in the photo? What's her name?
Her name's Dinah Halstead.
Where's she from?
She's from Papua New Guinea. She's a diver and she's also a photographer.
Okay, I'll play it one more time because for new students, one more time. So number 1, 2, 3, and 4, you have to find which one is the answer, A, B, C, and D. So I'll play it for one last
Right.
time.
Elementary Students Book. A Cengage Learning Company. Copyright 2019. Track 1. Unit 1. Opener. What's your name?
David Dubélé,
Where are you from?
the USA. I'm a photographer for National Geographic.
I really like this photo.
Yes, it's in Milne Bay.
And who's the diver in the photo? What's her name?
Her name's Dinah Halstead.
Where's she from?
She's from Papua New Guinea. She's a diver and she's also a photographer.
Okay, hey Fernando. So, what's your name? David Dublé. Not sure how to say that. So 1D. Where are you from? The USA. What's her name? Yeah, her name is Dina Halstead. And where is she from? Perfect. Where is she from? She's from Papua New Guinea. 4C. Okay, very easy, simple conversations, asking someone, what is your name? Where are you from? What do you do for a job? And asking about someone else. Where is she from? What does she do? What's her name? So very simple introductions to getting to know someone. So let's put it into practice. If I go to the next page, explorers. So we've got here, explorer means someone who likes to explore, to see, to understand things. So Derek and Beverly Jubet in Botswana, somewhere in Africa. So I'm pretty sure he is Derek and she is Beverly, and they are in Botswana in Africa. Another listening exercise, and then we can answer 1 to 3. So I'll play it again. So we're on page 11.
Track 2, Unit 1A.
Hello. What's your name?
My name's Beverly Joubert.
What's your job?
I'm a photographer for National Geographic, and I'm also an explorer and filmmaker. I'm married to the man in the photo.
What's his name?
My husband's name is Derek. He's also an explorer and filmmaker.
In the photo, you are in Australia. Are you from Australia?
No, we aren't. We're from Africa, and we live in Africa. Actually, this picture isn't in Australia. It's in Botswana.
Let's answer these questions. So Beverly Jubet is a photographer, explorer, and filmmaker. So she is when we say something about someone, she is a doctor, she is a lawyer, she is a teacher. So she is a photographer, explorer. Yep, so make sure you circle photographer. Derek is her husband. They, so she and him, they are from Africa. Let's listen one more time and fill in number 3, some information to the table. So we've got the first one is Beverly, Derek, and then about yourselves. Your first name, your surname or your last name, your occupation or your job, what do you do, place of birth, so that usually means the country, the place. Are you married or single? And what relationship? So let's listen again.
Track 2, Unit 1A.
Hello. What's your name?
My name's Beverly Joubert.
What's your job?
I'm a photographer for National Geographic, and I'm also an explorer and filmmaker. I'm married to the man in the photo.
What's his name?
My husband's name is Derek. He's also an explorer and filmmaker.
In the photo, you are in Australia. Are you from Australia?
No, we aren't. We're from Africa, and we live in Africa. Actually, this picture isn't in Australia. It's in Botswana.
Okay, so number 1 and 2 will be the same answers. What is the surname for Beverly and Derek? Jabert. She, we can put number 3, photographer, explorer, and filmmaker. She has 3 jobs, 3 professions, 3 occupations. Her husband is explorer and filmmaker. Where were they born? Place of birth for number 4 and 5? Australia? No, Africa. So we can write Africa for number 4 and 5. And are they married, single? They are married, so 6 married. The relationship, Beverly is a wife, Derek is husband. And you filled in for yourselves as well. Okay, once you've finished filling in for yourself, we're going to look at some grammar. So I'll just share some notes here. And we're starting with very basic grammar, which is good because this should be very easy for you. Very easy. So when we talk about we've got 3 types of sentences we can make. Affirmative, that just means I'm saying a sentence. It's not a question and it's not a negative. It's just like, I am Laila. I am an English language teacher. I am from Australia. That's just a statement, a sentence, affirmative. Negative is when I put not. So like, I am not Brazilian. I am not Colombian. I am not a student. And questions is more like asking, can you tell me about yourself? Or can you help me with my job? So that's a question. So these are 3 ways of making a sentence: affirmative, negative, and questions. So when we make an affirmative, we're going to start with the verb. It's a simple present. So we're starting with the simple present. You would have heard simple, continuous, and perfect. These are just like the basic level of, it's like a time when we speak. So we've got the present, which means we're giving information now about ourselves or something or someone. And it's simple because we're going to be using the rules for the simple rule. But then we also have the continuous and the perfect. We can make the same sentence in 3 of them, but we're just going to stick with the simple for now. So we use this verb to be, and that's just in its unchanged. I haven't changed it. It's just to be. But if I want to say I as the subject and use to be, I have to say I am. But if I want to say Roxana, she is. Or if I want to say more than two people, Nicholas and Melissa, they are. So we start the sentence with a subject who's doing the action, I, you, he, she, it, we, they, you all. And then we put the to be. So it depends if it's am, is, are. So it's I am, he is, she is, we are, they are, you all are. And then we can add our job, our name, our country, an action. So I've just given a few sentences. I am Laila. That's using my name. I am from Australia. I am a teacher. That's the job. I am happy, using an adjective. Or I am well. That's using another verb, another action. So that's how we do it. Subject, to be, and then this information. Now it's probably different to your rules. You just got to remember we use to be when we talk about these things. I also can make it a negative, and that's by just saying not. And we have to add not. So we have to add not after to be. So it's I am not, and I can do the same thing. I am not from Brazil. I am not called Roxana. I am not a lawyer. I am not sad. I am not unwell. So I can do the same thing, just in a negative. Question. If I want to ask a question, as I was saying before, questions, we can start with, we need to switch it. So starting with now to be, not subject to be, but now to be subject. And again, ... just means this information. So is Roxana from Brazil? Is Roxana a doctor? Is Roxana happy? Whatever. Or I could talk about we, if it's more than two people. Are we from Brazil? Or you can also start the question with the 5 W's. Sorry, the 6 W's. It's what I like to call the what, where, why, when, who. And then we have one how. And again, then you put to be here and then add the subject. So that's your rules. So we're in the present, not in the past. We're not giving information about yesterday. We're not in the future. We're not giving information about tomorrow, next week. We're in the present, now, at this moment. We're talking about now. I am Laila. That's true information in the present. I am a teacher. True information in the present. I'm not from Brazil. True information in the present. I'm happy. True information in the present. And then asking questions. So any questions with those rules? Pretty simple. It's called the present simple. So it's pretty simple. Okay, that's your rules right there. Let's look at number 5. So affirmative, we have to complete them with the verb to be. So I am, you are, he is. Negative, I am not, we are not, she is not or isn't. Yes. Question with you. Are you, whatever you want to ask, are you, yeah, are you, whatever. You can ask about a job, name, country. Are you Susanna, for example? What about with he as the subject? Is he a doctor? Yeah. The answers. So we didn't go through this. When we give an answer, we say, yes, I, the same one, am, to be. Yes, I am. Yes, it is. So it is about an object. Like, is it hot today? Yes, it is hot. Is the book yours? Yes, it is mine. So it is about an object which is not living. But it can be living if you're talking about a dog. Is it a dog? Yes, it is. No, you aren't. No, he isn't. Or no, he is not. Or no, you are not. Good. So we understand that we're using the verb one of many to be, which is, how do we say that in Spanish? To be? Ser. Or, that's right, because you have two in Spanish, ser or estar. That's right. And in Portuguese, same, ser, yeah. So it's using this verb. Okay, let's look at number 6. So if I say hello, it's a conversation. I think we need to listen first and then we will. So let's have a listen and then we'll go through the conversation.
Track 3, Unit 1A.
Hello, what is your name?
My name's Mike Burney.
Are you married?
Yes, I am. My wife's name is Sally. She isn't here today.
What's her job?
She's a teacher. I'm also a teacher.
Are you both from the United Kingdom?
No, we aren't. I'm from the UK, but Sally is from Canada.
And how old are you?
I'm 36.
Is Sally also 36?
No, she isn't. She's 35.
Okay, let's read it. So A will be Alexandra, and B, we're going to go with Conrado. Okay, so A, Alexandra.
So what is your name?
Yes. Mike.
Are you married?
Yes, I am. My wife my wife name is Earl. He isn't.
She isn't here today.
Well, her job?
He is a teacher. A teacher.
And you bought from the United Kingdom?
The United Kingdom.
The United Kingdom?
No. We are and from the UK. Sally is from Canada.
How old are you?
I'm 33.
Is Sally also 36? 36?
No. He isn't 35.
No, she isn't. She's 35. So let's get the pronunciation correct here, because a lot of the time the M and the N and the S need to be pronounced so that we could hear a little bit better. So the first one would be I'm, which is am. It's separating the subject, I, am. We can put them together and it's I'm. Yep, I'm. The second one is you are, but if I put you and are together, it's your. Your. Yes, your. The third one, I am not. So this is just without the subject, but I'm saying the subject. I am not. But if I connect them, it's I'm not. And if it's written this way, in the connected way, you must read it that way. In speaking, you can say whatever you want, but the way it's written, you must read it the way it's written. Is, for maybe she is, he is, or it is, becomes she's, his, its. We are not, but if it's connected, we aren't. So it's a negative. We aren't. Are for we are, or it could be they are. If it's connected, it's where. Sounds very similar to where, like where are you going? But it's spelled differently. It's W-E apostrophe R-E, where. Or there. A negative is not, so maybe he is not, she is not. It is not becomes isn't. Isn't. And is becomes, maybe it's his, its, or she's. Good. Any question? I think that's pretty simple. We're still just in to be, in the present. Remember, not the past, not the future, because that's different rules. In the present, I am. You have to learn these like, you could say it without even thinking. I am, you are, he is, she is, we are, they are, you all are. Very simple. The subjects, I, you, he, she, it, we, they, and then am, is, are, is, whichever one. Let's have a conversation. We're going to be again putting in to be in the present, but with the contracted means together, just like in the above example from 1 to 8. Same way, but let's put it in the contracted way, not in the separated way, in the contracted way together. Where possible. So maybe not every sentence need it. Where possible, maybe if you need to do it. Listen, so it's a listening, and then add what you hear. Okay.
Track 5, Unit 1A. Good afternoon. Are you in New Zealand for work or a holiday?
For work. I'm a photographer.
I see. What's your address in Auckland?
We're at 106A Eglinton Road.
We?
Yes, I'm with my wife and 2 children. They're here.
Ah, is your wife also a photographer?
Yes, she is. But she isn't in Auckland for work. She's here for a holiday.
Okay. So A will be Anderson, and B will be Odilon. Okay, let's hear. So A for Anderson, B for Odilon.
Good afternoon. Are you from New Zealand for work or a holiday?
Are you in New Zealand for work or a holiday? Yeah.
For work. I'm not a photographer.
Yes, I am. So it's not I'm. I think in the audio it said I am. It separated it. So I am a photographer.
I am or I'm.
What did you hear? Did you hear I'm? Did you hear I'm? Okay, I must have heard I am. So I'm, make sure it's connected, I apostrophe am. I'm a photographer.
What are your addresses in Auckland? We are at 106A. And
Eglinton Road.
And
Mm.
we? Yes, I'm with my wife and 2 children. They are here.
Yes, so it's a connected, not separated. They are, it's they're here. Yep.
Are your wife also a photographer?
Is, because for he, she, it, is she your wife? So is your wife also a photographer? So you got to remember, she's always is, he is always is, it is always is. So is your wife, is your husband, is your daughter, is your grandmother. If it's she or he, we must say is. Okay, so is your wife also a photographer?
Yes, she is, but she's in Auckland for work. She's here for a holiday.
So the number 7, I heard yes, she is, but she isn't. But she isn't. So we need the negative isn't. So in a connected way, it would be isn't, like that. But she isn't. She's, number 8, she's connected. So S-H-E apostrophe S, shiz. Yep, shiz. So that's called the contracted form. Contracted form is I'm, your, she's, his, it's, where, there. That's your contracted form. Okay. So we've added in the contracted form. Speaking, let's get some of this into practice. So the first one, what's your name? So if I look at the rule where it says questions, we're starting with one of the 6 W's. So what is your subject here? What is your name? So remember, we know with to be, we use it when we talk about a name, a country, a noun, adjective, and verb. I just want to change. Number 2, what's your surname? Yeah, what is your surname or what's your surname? 3, are you a student? So make sure the "a" is said very pronounced well. Are you a student? So let's, maybe for number 9. So we have what's your first name? Questions. Remember, these are questions. What's your name? What's your surname? Number 3, are you a student? 4, what What's your job? What is your job? Or what's, so we can connect it or just separate it. What is your job or what's your job? They're both the same. So remember, contracted forms, you can contract it if you want or not. Doesn't matter. When it matters, only when you're reading something, then you have to read it the same way it's written. Number 5, where are you from? 6, how old are you? 7, are you married? If I look back at my rules for the questions, you can either start with to be, that was the last one. Are you married? Is he married? Are we married? Or we can start with the 6 W's or with the H. So we have a H here. How old are you? You can see the subject, to be subject. 4, 5. Yeah, there must be one more, which. Thank you. There is which. Because I remember there's 6 now, not 5. So which. Yeah, what, where, why, when, who, which, and then one H. Yep. So you just got to remember the structure. You can't break the rule. So when you're making a normal statement, start with the subject, to be, and then whatever you're asking about, your name, country, noun, adjective, or verb. If it's a negative, add the not. If it's a question, you do not start with the subject. You can see in the question, either start with to be, start with the 6 W's, or start with the H. Okay, let's have a look. Then we're going to work in pairs for a few minutes and ask ourselves questions. Are you a student? And answer, no, I'm not. What's your job? I'm a teacher. So let's go around the room. We'll do it all together. So we'll start with Nicholas. You can tell us name, country, something about an adjective about yourself or an action. Well, let's do name, country, job. Or anything. You can say anything about yourself. You know, I'm from a big family. Whatever. I am a student, yes. I'm what? Whatever. Yeah. Okay. Melissa, just 1 or 2 sentences. Just one. Actually, yes, because I think what time? I'm a waitress. Good. So that's using her job or occupation. So I am a waitress. Roxana. I'm a student. Yeah. Yep. I'm from Peru. Good. So only one information which is different, which no one has said. Bruno. So you can't say I am a student or I am from Peru, but that's only yours. Yeah. I'm not married. Good. So Bruno used a negative. I, subject, am not married. He used the, it's because it's a verb to be married. So he said, I'm not married. Odilon. Oh, nice sentence. I'm not young anymore. Good. And Conrado. Yeah. So you have to make a sentence. I am. I'm from Brazil. You can't say I'm from Brazil. It has to be different. I'm not single. Good. Joanna? Good. I am 26 years old. So we have to say I am 26 years old. Good. Mariana? I am a good person. Good. I like that. Good. So you use the adjective to describe yourself. I am a good person. An adjective and a noun. I'm a good person. Alexandra? I work in customer service. So we must say I work in, because it's a type of field of job. So, or you could say I am a sales assistant, because that's not the job title. So I am a sales assistant, because that's the job title. But the type of job that you do is I work in customer service, I help people, I whatever. But the job title is sales assistant. Good. And last one. Yes.
I am a cake maker.
I'm a cake maker. Good. Perfect. Okay, good. So we can see we've used the verb to be in the simple present, the simple way that you can give people information about yourself or about someone else. Let's go to the next page while we still have a few minutes before the break. Sorry, and Alan, would you like, and Van, to make a sentence?
Yes, teacher, I am a student.
You can't say that one. We have to use different. I am.
A student.
Yes, but we don't.
Collect.
I collect. Okay, I am a student. And Alan? Alan says, I am a funny person. People is plural. So I am a funny person. Good. So you must make sure there's a here because it's for singular. When we talk about single one thing, I am a lawyer. I am a friendly person. I am a good person. Okay, good. Let's go to the next page. The next page, we're talking about a family in Kenya. We're reading about a family in Kenya. So I'll read it, each sentence, and then you can read it after me, each sentence, so you can practice pronunciation. So I think that's the best way. So let's read. So a family in Kenya. So you want to repeat? A family in Kenya. Okay, the Leakey family lives in Kenya. Louise Leakey is an explorer. But for her family, that's normal. Louise's mother is Maeve. And she's an explorer. Louise's father is Richard Leakey. Richard is also in Kenya, and he's a conservationist. Yeah. Richard's half-brother is Colin Leakey. Colin isn't in Africa. He's retired and he lives in England. Louise's grandparents, Louis and Mary, are dead, but they were also famous explorers. Louise's sister is Samira. Their uncle and aunt are Philip Leakey and his wife Katie. They have an international company. Okay, so we read that part, but let's talk about if your family is big or small, and where are the people in your family? I mean, as we have, as you've told me, Odilon, that your daughter is in Australia. What about your other children?
My son is living in Brazil.
Yes.
And my daughter in Australia.
Only 2 children, small family. Yes. Okay. What about anyone else? Would you like to tell me something about your family? You can talk about your sisters, your brother-in-law, if your sister or brother is married, or sister-in-law, or your grandparents. Maybe your grandparents live in another country, or, you know, whatever. If nieces and nephews. Bruno?
In Australia, only my sister.
Ah, yes, that's right. Yeah.
My brother-in-law.
Yes. So only your sister and brother-in-law are here in Australia. But how many family do you have back home? Big family? More brothers, more sisters, or?
Big family.
Yeah. Okay, small family. Yeah. Roxana, I know you have a sister in Peru, back home. Oh, 2 sisters. Yeah. Ah, so that's a big family. 2 sisters and 1 brother, so 4. Yes. And where are they? All in Peru, or? All. Yes. Married? Ah, no one married. Okay, but children? Anyone? Yes. 2. Yes. So you have 2 cousins? Or 2, you mean 2 nephews or 2 nieces? Yes. Who? Your daughter's children? Sorry, your sister's children or your brother's children? Your sister, she has 2, and they're girls?
Yes.
So you have 2 nieces, not cousins. 2 nieces, yes. Yeah, your cousin is your dad's brother's children, or your dad's sister's children, or your mum's brother's children, or your mum's sister's children. But nieces is your sister's 2 children. Yeah. Anyone else? Mariana, what's your family like? They are they Colombian? Yes. All in Colombia? Yep. Big family, like lots of sisters, brothers? Just 1 sister. Okay. Yep. And she's in Colombia. Yeah. Okay, let's read about the Leakey family, which we just read, but answer these questions. So where are the Leakey family from? Or where are they now? Kenya? Yeah, they're in Kenya, so in Africa. Are Louise and Mauve explorers? Yeah, they're both an explorer. Yeah. So Louise is an explorer, and Louise's mother, Neve or Mauve, I'm not sure, is also an explorer. So yes, number 2, yes. What is Richard's job? He's a conservationist. Richard is also in Kenya, but what is Colin's job? That would be Richard's half-brother. So what does his half-brother do? Retired. So he doesn't work. So what is Colin's job? Colin is retired. He doesn't work. Is Philip married? Yes. Yes, he is. Good. So full sentence. Yes, he is. Is Katie an explorer? No, because no, she's not. No, she's not. Let's look at the family tree. In number 3, if we have Louise, who is Louise married to? I'll give you a few minutes to fill in the family tree. Did you find it easy? Let's have a look. Let's start at the bottom. So we've got Louise is here. She's born in 1972. What's number 6? So it looks like when you put them side by side, it's a brother or sister. It's Colin. Number 6? No? No? Because that would mean Colin is Louise's brother. No? Colin isn't Louise's brother. Who is Louise's sister or brother? What do we know from the information? Louise has a sister or a brother? What can we see? Does she have a sister or a brother? A sister. So number 6 would be Samira, because that's her sister. Because when it's side by side, it's sisters. because they share the same, it goes up to the mum and dad. So number 6 is Samira. Who are the parents? Number 3 and 4. That would be the parents because they're above. Who would the parents of Louise be? What are their names? Number 3, the parents' names are Neve, yep, and Richard. Yep, so 3 and 4, Richard and Neve, or more. Who is the grandparents? Lewis and number 1, because it's going up, so that must be the grandparents. So who's number 1, the grandparent? Mary. Yep, the grandmother is Mary. The grandfather is Lewis. So number 1, Mary. That's how I found it easy to start from the bottom and to work the way up. Now, number 3, Richard, his mother is Mary and his father is Lewis, but his father has a child from a different marriage. So that must mean it's his step brother or half brother. So who is Richard's half brother? Colin. Number 2, Colin. Number 2, Colin. And who are brothers and sisters? Richard, because it said Louise's uncle. So number 3 and number Philip must be brothers and sisters. So can you see how Philip is married to number 5, Katie? Yeah, Katie. Katie. Okay, good. Let's have a break. When we come back, we'll continue on the following page. We'll look at vocab for family members. And then also looking at when we say something is ours, like it's mine, it's his, it's hers, it's theirs. So let's have a break for 30 minutes. When we come back, we'll continue on the page. So Van and Alan, 30 minutes break. Yes. Your what? Ah, yes, I have to mark you. Okay, yes. So I'll mark you in a moment. Let me mark you. Okay, so welcome back. And now, as we said, we're going to continue with the chapter, the unit 1, talking about family vocab and looking at possessive. So you'll learn what that is in a moment. But let me share the screen with you, Van, and we'll get straight into it. So we're looking at, thank you, Nicholas, vocab when we talk about family. Thank you. So we have aunt. So we all know what an aunt is. When you have an aunt is your dad's sister or your mum's sister. That's your aunt or your auntie, same word. Cousin is when you your dad's brother's children or your dad's sister's children or your mum's brother's children or your mum's sister's children. They're your cousins. Your grandparents. So you got your grandma and grandma. Hey, Fanon, you come back, yeah. Half brother is half brother and a step brother. Thank you, Anderson. So half brother and step brother is the same thing. It's when your mum has maybe a child with another marriage, or your father has children with a different mum. So you have the same father, different mum, or the same mum, different dad. That's your half brother, your half sister, your stepsister, your stepbrother. Your mother, we know what that means. Mother-in-law, that's when you marry your wife or you marry your husband, and it's the mother of that parent. So if you're married, Fernando, how's your mother-in-law? Good mother-in-law or bad? She's good? Ah, good. See, so that's a mother-in-law. So his wife's mum, his mother-in-law. And you can have a father-in-law. So your wife's dad, father-in-law. Nephew, when your sister or your brother has children, the boy is the nephew, the niece, the girl is the niece, your parents are your mum and your dad. And stepbrother, same thing. You have different mums and different dads. So the half brother is when you have the same one parent, but the step is different parents. So if we look at number 5, your father's brother and sister. What would the word be? What is your father's brother and sister? Aunt and uncle. Sorry, I didn't see the last one. Uncle. So aunt or auntie and uncle. Yeah, that's your father's brother and sister. For me, that would be my uncle or my auntie. Your brother's daughter and son. Who would they be to you? That would be your niece and nephew. Your uncle and aunt's son or daughter. Your cousins. Yeah. So aunt and uncle. Who would be a brother but from one different parent? Half. No, only half brother. Because when the one parent is only half brother. When you have two different parents, that's the step. Your husband or wife's mother, mother-in-law, and your mother or father. They are your parents, and your parents' mother and father are your grandparents. Yeah, very easy vocab. So let's look at some grammar. We have the possessive. We use the possessive when we talk about someone or something, and we want to say it's mine or it's his or hers. So if it's I, we start with the possessive adjective to say my, like this is my sister, this is my brother.
Father.
Yeah. If it's you, we say your, this is your home. This is, if it's he, it's his. This is his book. If it's she, her, this is her laptop. And if it's it, so something that's not living, it's, we say it's. If it's we say our, this is our house, welcome to our house. If I say you, for you all, there's many you, it's you all. And if it's they, like again, Melissa and Nicholas, that's their book, that's their table, that's their whatever. So this is called possessive and possessive adjective. So the possessive, we use the contraction, like Mike's wife is a teacher. Mike and Sally's home is in Canada. We have to add that contraction. So the rules, so this is possessive and possessive adjective. But let's practice it. So I'll just write, you got the rules here. So let's choose the correct word to complete the sentence. We'll come back to writing and practicing it, but let's do the practice in the book first. If I said I parents are Spanish or my parents are Spanish? My, because I'm not talking about me doing the action. It's not I, remember how in the beginning, I am Laila, I live in Australia. I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about my parents are Spanish. So we need to use the possessive adjective, my. So I'll write my, your, his, her, its, our, your, their. Yeah, so my parents are Spanish. Because not I parents are Spanish. I'm not talking about me as in an action I'm doing or information about me. It's about my parents. They are Spanish. Number 2, I am, because it's got the M. We can only do that with I am. So this is going back to the first rule with the to be. I am the only boy in the family. When we were introducing ourselves, I am from Brazil. I am a doctor. I am whatever. I am the only boy in the family. Talking about that person. So I. Number 3, what's your name? Yep, so we said my parents are Spanish. I am the only boy in my family. So my family. What's your name? Where are you from? Because we're not saying your noun. It's not, is this your book? Is this your pen? Is this your laptop? Is this your phone? We're just saying, where are you from? Just you. There's no noun. I'm talking about you, the person. So something is a photographer. I think we're just going to use the subject here. She is a photographer. That's using the first rule. It's not possessive. It's just this one. She is. Yep, she is. It's not saying her photo is so beautiful or her house is beautiful. I'm not talking about something that she has. I'm talking about her. She is a photograph, not something of hers. Number 6. Yeah, so we're not talking about this man. We're not saying, he is from the USA. We're talking about something that is his. So his uncle is in the USA. 7. Yeah, our family. Our family is from Asia. And 8, their cousins are both girls. Can we see the difference between the subject and a possessive? Possessive is when I'm saying something, like my book is very heavy. My day is beautiful. It's very different saying I am Laila, I'm from Australia, I'm a teacher. I am from a small family. That's all about me, me, me. But when I talk about something I have to say my friend is here. My parents are from wherever. So can you see the difference between the two when I say I and when I say my? You can tell I'm talking about something that I have, that I own, that is mine. So that's why it's possessive. It's something that is mine. It belongs to me. So let's do a bit of pronunciation, rewriting sentences, and then we'll make our own sentences. So I'm Fabian, or you can say, my name's Fabian. Annie's sister is Claire, but we can say her sister is Claire. Yeah, her sister is Claire. Francis and Anthony's cousins are Juliet and Jane, or we can say their cousins. I can say Fritz's grandparents are dead, or I can say his grandparents are dead. I can say, are you Sylvian? Sylvain? Or I can say, your name is, it's a question, start with the verb, is your name Sylvian? We have a niece, her name is Helen, or I can say, yeah, our niece's name is Helen. Let's fill in this little description. I'll play the audio and you can fill in the words and then we'll read it together. Okay, so I'll play the audio.
Track 8, Unit 1B. 1.
My name's Fabian.
2.
Her sister is Claire.
I think I pressed the wrong one. Sorry.
3.
Not 10, number 11.
Track 9, Unit 1B.
My family lives in Australia. My mother is from Ireland, and her 3 sisters, my aunts, live there. My father is from Australia, and he's a businessman. My sister's name is Orla, and she's a teacher. She's married, and her husband is Tim. He's also a teacher. Their children are Rory and Jack. My best friend is Peter. His father and my father have a company together.
Okay, let's read it out loud together. Each sentence. So my family lives in Australia. My mother is from Ireland, and her sister. Now in the brackets, because he wants to tell you who they are. My aunts live there. Yeah, that's good accent. Good accent. You can hear the English when we say that word in particular. My aunt. It sounds very English. My father is from Australia, and he's a businessman. My sister's name is Orla, and she's a teacher. She's married, and her husband is Tim. He's also a teacher. Now I want to talk about the 2 people. So their children are Rory and Jack. My best friend is Peter. His father and my father have a company together. Good. Speaking. So I want you to write 2 to 3 sentences about someone. It could be your grandmother. It could be someone that's helped you in your life. Pick a person and write 3 sentences about them. Where are they from? What do they do? What's amazing about them? Try and use this. They are very kind, or she's a very kind person. She's my closest friend. She's an amazing person. She's from Latin America, whatever. So pick a person and write 2 to 3 sentences about them. Okay, so Van, you can also do that, and I'll give you 2 to 3 minutes. We'll come back in 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, so let's continue back. So if you remember, we were talking about writing 3 or 4 sentences, giving some information about someone by using the verb to be and also possessive. So tell me something what they have. Who would like to go first? Maybe Van, would you like to read out what you have written? Or you can send it in the chat box. Van? If no, anyone would like to go? Yeah? Okay, perfect. Alexandra, yes, I'm going to say Mariana Alexandra. Okay, so what do you have written?
Andres is my boyfriend.
Yes.
He's from Colombia.
Yes.
He's a personal trainer.
Good, he's a personal trainer.
His family lives in Colombia.
His what, sorry?
His family lives in Colombia.
His family lives in Colombia. Yeah.
He has a sister and brother.
He has a sister and brother. Good.
His family are good people.
His family are good people. Not his family are good people because it's plural. Good. So that was Alexandra about her boyfriend. What was his name? Andres. He's from Colombia. He's a personal trainer. Good, about his job. His family is in Colombia. And his family are good people. Good. Thank you. Anyone else? So you get an opportunity where I can see your mistakes. Joanna? Yes. Yeah, perfect. So you talked about your sister, your best friend, and your parents. Good. Anyone else? Nicholas. I know you want me to pick Nicholas. So Nicholas.
Melissa has a one car. Your car is red. You have a bag. You have black. Melissa has the 3 dogs.
Melissa has 3 dogs. Yes.
His dogs are brown.
Her dogs. Or they are. They are.
Brown.
Yeah, they are brown and white. Good. So Melissa has a car. It is red. Because when I talk about the car, because it's not alive, it is red. Melissa has 3 dogs. And the dogs, they are brown and white. I think. Yeah, good. Melissa.
Vienna is my mom.
Nice.
And they live.
She has 3 dogs. Okay, so you could say, because you're talking about her, we have 3 dogs. So did you say we?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, we.
We have
3 dogs.
And their house.
Yeah.
Their name are Jack, Bill.
Yes, I remember you showed me a photo for one of them. Yes, beautiful. So Melissa said, my mom's name is Milena, and we have 3 dogs. They live at her house. Their names are, because she's talking about plural, their names are, and then she said the names. Perfect. One more. Mauricio, tell me what you've written.
Christian
Yes?
is my brother.
Yes, beautiful. Christian is my brother.
He is my daughter's dog father.
So he's your brother, and he is your youngest. Yeah. So was it Christian is my brother?
Yeah.
Let's write that.
He is my younger
Yes.
father.
He's my younger godfather. No, I don't understand, because if he is your brother, so let's write it together here. So you said Christian is my brother?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the next sentence? He yeah. So let's write it. Okay, Christian is my brother.
Younger.
Yeah.
Younger.
He is my daughter's.
Yeah.
Yeah, now I understand. He is my daughter's godfather. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Full stop. Every sentence must start with a subject. So he lives in Barranquilla with his family. Beautiful. Lots of let's have a look at this sentence. So very good, because really good. Okay, so we have, let's read that. Christian is my brother, full stop. He is my daughter's godfather. Beautiful sentence. So we can see we're using here he, not his, because we're talking about him. He is my daughter's godfather. We're talking about him again. So he lives in Barranquilla with his family. Let's say something about what let's use the possessive. His, what sentence can we make to talk about something that he owns? Like Melissa said, you know, her dogs or our dogs. His wife is Colombian. Yeah, can we write that? Okay, his wife is Colombian. Yeah. So can you see the difference when we went from he and then we went to his? Can you see the difference? Because Christian is my brother. So pretend I'm Christian. He is my daughter's grandfather. He lives in Barranquilla. But his wife, we're talking about something that he owns. His wife is Colombian. Good. Let's continue the story. So we'll make it up. So you can add a sentence starting with Anderson. Add any sentence you want to this story, but it must, you know, continue. So it must sound like a real story for this story. Yeah. So what sentence do you want to add? You can talk about what his job is. You can talk about where he lives, what language he speaks, how old he is, something about.
I have one doubt. He is my daughter. Godfather is correct? Correct?
Yeah, he is my daughter's godfather. Because it's the daughter who's the godfather to her. It's her. For her, that's her godfather. Yeah. So what can we add? Another sentence. So I added his wife is Colombian.
I had a car.
No, we're talking about him, Christian. He or his, yeah.
He had a car.
He has a car.
He had a car.
Yeah. We want to try and practice the is. So he is a doctor. He is living in somewhere. So remember, let me just put this up. We can talk about him, his name, his country, his job, how he feels. Try and add information like this. His job. He is, because we want to practice the verb to be. He is, what job? You can make it up. He's a doctor. Good. He is a doctor. Fernando, add another sentence. He is a doctor. So we have his name. We can't add any more. We don't know where he lives. We know the job. We haven't described what he looks like. Location, where he lives. Yes, he lives, so we can cross that one. Nationality, he's Colombian. How he feels, he is he's happy. He's always happy. Yeah, he's always happy. Good. Conrado, do you want to add a sentence to the story? Yeah. So you can talk about, he something about his sister is a lawyer, his mother, something about his mother or something about his something. Yeah. So you have to start it with he or his. Yeah. To this story. To this story. Add. Yes. About him, Christian. So we said, Christian is my brother. He is my daughter's grandfather. He lives in Barranquilla with his family. His wife is Colombian. He is a doctor. He's always happy. Or anyone? Any sentence? Bruno, what can you add about this man, Christian? Talk about anything. His family, his he is tall. Good. He is tall. Yeah. And lanky. Maybe just like very tall and lanky. Like, because they're very thin, like, lanky. So not very strong, tall, but just very thin and tall. Because we want to, yeah, good. So we described what he looks like. Yeah. What else can we add about Christian? He speaks. Good. He speaks many languages. So it doesn't have the is. How about we say he is learning to speak many languages? Only because I want to practice the is or the his. So he is learning to speak many languages. Good. What else can we say about him? Let's talk about his wife now. So his wife, we said she is Colombian. What else can we say about his wife? Sorry, his wife is Colombian. She, who said the sentence? She, yeah, yeah, tell me. She, yeah, let's connect this one. Contraction. She's a doctor. She's also a doctor because he is a doctor, so she's also a doctor. Good. What else can we add for her, his wife? Her name? Yes, tell me. Yeah. That's because if we talk about abilities, we're gonna say can. We don't want to yet practice can. We just want to say she is a lawyer, she's a doctor, she's Colombian, she has 5 brothers, she's from a small family, her parents live in Brazil now, her house is very tidy, so we want to keep practicing the same possessive and talking about the person. Sorry? She's intelligent. Good. Yes. She is very intelligent and fun to hang around with. Yeah, we say and fun to be around. Like you enjoy yourself and fun to be around. Yeah, like when she's here, she's fun to be around. Yeah. Let's talk about her. Her what? Her house. Her house is big and beautiful. Her house is big and beautiful. Her clothes. You can talk about anything about her. What do you want? Yeah, her car is red. Yep. And small. Might say and small. Her color is red and small. Yep. Yeah. Her car is red and small. Her cat. Sorry, did you say her cat? What did you say? Her cat? Yeah, her cat is black. Yeah. Good. Okay, so can you see how we practice talking about the person and then about something about what they have? So it's not she cat is black. No, it's her cat. Okay, good. Van, did you have a sentence? I can't. Yeah, I'm not sure. If you want, add it in the chat box. Okay, any questions about what we learned before we move to the next section? No? So very interesting. We again, we looked at the verb to be by saying information about our names, our countries, our job or occupation. We also talked about adjectives. So remember we said she is tall or he is tall. We also talked about location and nationality, where is they from, and added a verb by how they feel. You know, he is happy, he's always happy. But then we also looked at possessive. So it wasn't just about the person. We said his cat is black, his house is big, his garden is huge. So can you see the difference? The first one, we're giving information about that person and then about something that they have that is theirs. That's why it's called possessive. It's his house. He owns it. It's his cat. So we have to say his, not he, for he is a doctor. His name is, you know. Okay, let's go to the next section. Unless any questions? No? Pretty simple. We're here now. The face of 7 billion people. So here we're looking at saying numbers and percentages. So let's listen and repeat. these sentences. Yeah.
Please.
To see?
Yeah.
Yeah. But no photo. This one. Yeah.
Thank you.
You want to give to her? Give to her? Okay.
No, holiday.
Huh? You want to? Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah, yeah. Oh, you can't take it, the test. No. You can't take it. You wanna give to her?
No.
Oh, no photo, no.
No.
No, they don't let me. No, no photo. But yeah. Yeah. This one. Tell her this one. 80%.
Oh.
Yeah. But she can see, but no, yeah, but they don't let me. Sorry. Yeah. She can yeah. Okay, let's instead of listening, I'll just read them and we can say them out. So 1 billion, 1.3 billion, 3.5 billion, 5.5 billion, 7 billion, 23%, 38%, 51%. So these symbols, when we have a dot, we say it as point. So as I said, 5.5. When we have a percent, we say percent. Percent. Yeah, that's the only symbols we looked at. So pretty simple. Okay, let's read this text. It's called The Face of 7 Billion People. And this time it's on the next page, page 15. Let's go around the class reading. So we've got the title, The Face of 7 Billion People. We know now the world population is 8 billion people. So we're up to 8 billion now. So there's a subheading. So this is called the heading, the title. And then you have a subheading. It's like a little extra subheading. And then we've got all this information. So subheading will be Nicholas. Age will be Mariana. Population, Fernando. Language, Roxana. Religion, Mauricio. Jobs, Odilon. City and countryside, Anderson. And internet and mobile phones, Conrado. Okay, let's read. Yes, the subheading.
The average age of all the people in the world is 8 years.
Sorry, no, were you subheading? I think, because whose age? Yeah, so you're subheading this one. There are 7 billion people in the world.
People. The person in the world is 5. You do 1 million people. That 7 million is
Billion in total. Yeah. Okay, age. Yes, you added an extra the. So do you want to read it again? The average age of all the people in the world is 28.
The world's population in China. There are 1.3 billion
1.3. Yeah. India. Language.
14% of the world's population speak Mandarin as their first language. 6% speak Spanish as their first language. 6% speak English as their first language. But English is a second language for religion.
Yeah, good. Religion, Mauricio.
There are many different religions in the world. For example,
Yeah.
30,
30.
21% of the world are Christian. 23% are Muslim, and 50%
Yeah.
are Hindu.
Hindu. Hindu. Yep. Jobs.
Jobs. 40% of people work in a service industry. Hotels, banks, etc. 38% are in agriculture, and 22% are in manufacturing and production.
Yeah, 22. City and countryside.
61% of the world live in cities, and 0.9% living in the countryside.
Yeah. Internet and mobile phones.
3.5 million people in the world use the internet, and 5.5 million people have a mobile phone.
Good. Okay, interesting. So let's go back to the page before. So number one, the number of people in the world, which paragraph would that be? So which number from number one? So the number of people in the world, 7 billion. Yep. So we can add this one here, 7 bit. We have to get the answers from here. So for number one, I'm going to write 7 billion and cross that out. But remembering now, we're up to 8 billion. The population of India, 1.3 billion. The number of speakers of English as a second language, Six percent would be 1 billion. Yeah. Yeah, is 1 billion. The percent of Muslims, the percent of Muslims, yeah, 23. So we can see 23 there, yeah. The percent of workers in agriculture. So the percent of workers in agriculture, 38. Yeah. And the percent of people in cities. 51%. For number 6, the number of people with internet. 3.5 billion. And the last one, the number of people with a mobile phone. 5.5 billion. So yes, number 3 is 1 billion. That is what makes 6%. So we have, when we write, we have a text with facts. Facts means true information. Like Brazil is in South America. That's true information. We can't change it. When we have a text with opinions, that's giving what we believe, what we think. It's our opinion. Like, for example, Brazil is beautiful. It has the most beautiful beaches. I love they're known for their meat and their food, and there's very kind people. That's just my opinion. Although a lot is true, but it's my opinion. And a story is a story about, it could be a legend story, a very traditional old story. It could be a story about something. It's a made up, not true, or it could be a true fact, but it's about something or someone. So this type of what we just read, do you think it is a text about facts, opinions, or is it a story? It's facts, all true information. Yeah. About the world languages, the world's jobs, and how many people with religion, and how much use internet. Which information in the text did you find surprising, interesting? What did you read that you found surprising? I'm maybe surprised that the average age is 28. Maybe that's surprising to me. What did you find surprising? Interesting. Sorry? The population? It's a big in India. Yeah. Because China has billion as well. Yeah, so India very close as well, 1.3 billion.
But India is smaller than China.
Yeah, by size. Yeah, I know. And it's smaller. So imagine everyone's very close, crowded and close. Okay, let's look at some everyday verbs. So verbs mean actions. They're actions that we take. We do these actions. Like if to have. Usually we have something, you know. To live. Very simple action. We live somewhere. So right now you are living in Australia. To speak a language. To use we use something. We do something with it. And to work. So job. I work in the hospital. I work in the hotel. So China. Let's put these action words in here. So 1.4 billion people live in China. Yep. 70% of the world population speak. Yep. Over 1.3 billion Chinese people have a mobile phone. 25% of the population work. 55% of the Chinese use. Good. So if you notice, these action were in the present simple. It's information about right now. They live, they work, they use right now in the present. Not yesterday, last week, last year, in the past, or in the future. We're giving information about right now. So it's called the present simple. Just like we looked at to be, you know, I am Laila. The same is when we use these actions. I live in Australia. I speak English right now at this moment. I use a laptop for work. I work. I have whatever. So in 21 million people live in Mexico. So we use in when we're talking about in a country, in a city or region, or in a type of work. So let's write these rules down. So in a country, city, or region, or a type of work or industry. So let's practice using this word in. For example, yeah, I live in Australia. I live in Adelaide. I live in the suburban area. I live in the eastern area of the city. I work in the English in a restaurant. I work in a restaurant. I work in the hospitality. So either the type of work or industry. It's not saying the job, but it's saying what type, hospitality. For me, it'd be in the language industry, in the teaching industry. Yeah. So in, that's when you say in. These are the examples. So 21 million people. 21 million people live in Mexico City. Yep, the city. There are 65 million people in the United Kingdom. That's the region, the area of a place of the world. 40% of the population work in the service industry. So remember, it's not the job, because then you'd say, I am a teacher. It's saying, I work in the teaching industry. I work in the law department. I work in the caring for the elderly. It's not the job, it's the type of job. 40% of the world, 49% live in the countryside. Okay, write 3 sentences about people in your country using in. So what can you tell me about in Peru? You know, what kind of in? So you talk about the country, the region, they. So when you're talking about people, we're using the plural. They live. Most people in Peru live near the city or in the city. I don't know. You tell me. So tell me something about the people of your country using in. What, you know, where is the country? They live in South America. Okay, so 3 sentences and then we'll check them. Okay, and also do number 9, where you're going to find out what's the population of your city. So you can Google some of this information. Sorry, yeah. How many people are in your country, in your city, in your English class, in your family, in your school? workplace. And remember to use some symbols. We talk about percent now, not just a number, like there are 20 people in class. We can say a percent. Talk about like maybe 50% are from Colombia or something. So try and add the percentage when you do that. Okay, so we'll come back in a minute.
7% of Colombian population is female.
Interesting. So 50% of the Colombian population is 50. So let me write this down. So 50% of the 50.7% of the Colombian population is. See ya, Bruno. See you tomorrow. Female. Ah, okay, interesting. So 50.7% of the Colombian population is female. Interesting fact. So that's a fact, true information. Good.
And the 49% is male.
Yeah. And so 49% are males. So plural are. Sorry, so 50.7% of the Colombian population are female, while 49% are males. Yeah, good. Good fact about your country. Anyone else? Any fact? Maybe what language is least spoken? What's the most spoken language? Because I know you have many different languages. What do the people mostly work? Where do they mostly live? In the rural or in the country or in the city? So you can tell me any information. Fact or opinion? We can make it an opinion. Yes.
52 million people.
So in Peru, there are 32 million people. Good. There are. And 29% of them live in the capital city. Capital city, Lima. Okay. 29% of them live in the capital city, Lima. Good sentence. So there are, we can see we're using again the verb to be. We're talking about many people. So there are 32% people and 29% of them, because she's talking about the whole population of Peru, 32 million, but 29% of them live in the capital city, Lima. That's more population than Australia, just in Lima. Just Lima, 32 million people, but Australia has 26 million, I think. Yeah. And you 32 million and much smaller. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And the capital, almost 30%. Any other sentences about your country? Yes. Yeah.
17 million people live in Ecuador.
Sorry?
17 million people live in Ecuador.
Live in Ecuador. I forgot to ask where you are from. Ecuador. Interesting. Okay, so 17 million people live in Ecuador. Let's practice the verb to be. So there are 17 million people living in Ecuador.
In Ecuador, there are 69 persons per kilometer.
There are 69
persons per kilometer.
There are 69%. Not percent, people. People. Because the plural is people. The singular is a person, but we don't say, we say, so there's a person here, but then there are many people. So there are 69 people per kilometer. Per kilometers. Or you can say for every kilometer, there are 69 people. Yeah, interesting.
And 80% speaks Spanish.
Good. 80% speak Spanish.
And 20% speaks native language.
While 20% speak a native language. Yeah, a native language. Good.
Teacher,
Yes.
Tokyo.
Tokyo, interesting.
Tokyo, the capital of Japan,
Yes.
is the most populous city in the world,
In the world.
with more than 57 million residents.
So Tokyo, so there are, because I want to practice the R, there are 20,
57
13?
57 million.
37, yeah, million. Repeat that last sentence that you said. Residents in Tokyo. Good, in Tokyo. So there are 37 million residents in Tokyo. Wow. Amazing. Okay. Hey?
It's not Tokyo.
It's what?
You write Tokyo.
Oh, yeah, I know. Tokyo. There are 37 million residents in Tokyo. Yeah, good. Yeah.
No, o sea, the city most popular in the world.
Yes, it is the most popular city in the world. Now, I changed a few of those sentences because I wanting to be practicing the verb to be. So I have it here, it is, and plural, there are. So good. And I love, we have a lot of percent, million, good.
Populous.
Yeah, the most populous city in the world. Yes, Japan. Yes, we can put Japan is the most populous. Yeah, the populous city in the world. Okay, any other country with any other information? Mariana. Yeah. Yes. We can add it here with the Colombia. Sorry?
7 million.
7 million people live in Bogota. Yeah, so 7 million people. Again, there are 7 million people living in Bogota. Yeah. 10% of Colombians. Yeah. In good sentence. So it has the R because plural. Good. 10% of Colombians are unemployed. Okay. Good. So I hope what you can see that we're doing, we're trying to bring in speaking about a country, region, city, type of work. So we've got here the unemployed. Yeah, lots of good information using that. You could see I changed your sentence around. It is possible to change the sentences by keeping just to the simple, the present simple. There are, instead of, I think the sentence was, 7 million people live in the capital. That's just using the present simple. But I added there are, just to be practicing our to be verb. Any more information that we can add? So Colombia, Peru, Ecuador, Japan. If you can add any more, do you have any more sentences? No? I didn't hear anything from Brazil. Brazil. What can you tell me about Brazil?
More than 50% Brazilian people
Yeah?
live in cities.
Live in the cities. In the cities? Like in the main cities? Yeah.
More than 50.
50. Oh, wow. So more than 50% of Brazilians. Yeah. So more than 50%. So mostly people live in the cities. Yeah. Anything else? More information? Or from Conrado?
89.4 million.
89? 1?
89.
See you tomorrow. Sorry, 189.4 million. Yeah. Live in Brazil. Okay. 189.4 million people live in Brazil. Yeah. Might put that as the first sentence. And more than 50% of them, yeah, live in the cities in Brazil. Okay, more information for Brazil. What about what type of work do they mostly do? So they mostly live in the city. We have how much population? Brazil. What type of work? So yes, you can Google. That's fine because we can Google facts. Yes. Yeah, let's say most families work in, because we're practicing in here, in the manufacturing industry. Yeah, very good sentence, practicing in. Let's go back to Colombia. We didn't have a sentence with in, so we need a sentence from in for Colombia, also for Peru. And Ecuador, we need a sentence with in. So what can you tell me? They mostly work in what? People mostly work in agriculture. They mostly work in the food industry. What can you tell me? What do people mostly work in? What type of industry? So we have it here for Brazil, which is perfect. Most families work in the manufacturing industry. So just a few more sentences and then you are free. And Van, any sentences that you want to send, you can send them in the chat box about Vietnam. So Colombia, what you've already Peru, what do people work in?
In Colombia.
Yeah. Yep.
57.
Yes, 57%.
of Colombians are Catholic.
Good sentence. Are Catholic. Good. Talking about their religion. Well done. Are. They are Catholic. Good. 57% of Colombians are Catholic.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
So we can even add religion to our list of when we use when we use to be. So religion. Thank you. Very good one. Yes, Peru. Ecuador.
50% people work in agriculture.
50%?
30%.
30%, sorry, yep, 30% of people work in, so practicing in agriculture. Well done, thank you. That's Ecuador, perfect. You've got lots of practice of the verb to be and in. So we still need Lima, Colombia. I think, did you say you have one more? For Colombia?
The last year.
No, not the, last year.
Colombia received 4 million tourists.
So last year, there was 4 million tourists. It's using the past to be. Could you make a prediction? So this year, it's hard to, because we don't want to use the future. There is around 4 million tourists every year. Can we make it a present sentence? So there are around 4 million tourists every year, maybe. Can I change the sentence like that? So again, we're sticking just to the present simple facts now, not last year there was 4 million tourists. Right now, there are around 4 million tourists every year. Yeah? Okay, good. There are. Lima, and then we should be finished. So we need one.
10%
Yes?
work in the mining sector.
Good. 10% work.
Work in the mining sector.
Well done. 10% work in the mining sector. Well done. Thank you. Yes. So in Peru, there are 32 million people and 29 of them live in the capital city, Lima. 10% of people, of Peruvians work in the mining sector. Good. On the mine. Interesting. So we can see it's not the job title, it's just in this area of work, in the teaching industry, in the mining sector, in hospitality, don't say in restaurant, but in hospitality. Okay, good. So we have practiced today. Let's recap. We used the verb to be in the present simple when we talk about information about a person or someone else, giving their name, their occupation, their job, their nationality, where they live. Remember, it is subject to be. So it's I am, you are, he, she, it is, we are, they are. And then we also looked at talking about possessive. So not just, I am Laila, but I could say my friend, her name is whatever. My mother is a lawyer. So it's not I am a lawyer, but my mother. So we looked at talking about ourselves, but then also about someone else. Someone else or something that we own, possessive, my car, my house, my whatever. And then we went into talking about percent and this point. That's how we pronounce it. So 15.5 or whatever. It's point. That's how we say it. Percent. And we gave some information about our countries with using percentage, talking about how many millions of people or whatever, and then talking about in. So they live in the country, they live in the city, they work in this type of work. So in, it's a preposition in, just so you know, but There's many types of, these are like little words in, it's a preposition. Okay, so we'll continue tomorrow from 1D. And yeah, other than that, we'll see you tomorrow. Van, see you tomorrow.